So we've seen these Democratic leaders this week joining rallies, and this one was in Washington, supporting USAID, and they're promising to fight against what they say are unconstitutional actions taken by President Trump and also Elon Musk's Doge. So first up here, I want to see what maybe a former Democrat might make of all of this. Our friend Lindy Li is back, former DNC Finance Committee member who's turned into a Trump supporter now in the last few months. And here she is, live. Welcome back, Lindy. So,
oh, thank you so much.
So your old friends are looking for ways to kind of fight back, right? And what do you make of what they've come up with here in terms of a opposition or a resistance to the Trump policies?
In short, it's weak sauce. They're scrambling. Yeah. They're scrambling for a message that really resonates with the American people, but I don't think they've really hit on it yet. The party is in the wilderness. We see from the Woke Fest this past weekend where they reelected like 50% of the leadership. They didn't learn any of the lessons. They elected a vice chair who called for ICE to be abolished and to defund the police, who wants to abolish the Second Amendment. And the American people showed in November that they do not want this agenda at all. And yet the Democratic Party is not revising their agenda at all and just ramming down the throats of the American people, something that we've already said that we do not want.
Here's a clip of the sort of things we've heard from Cory Booker and others at these rallies. Let's listen.
United States Senate, we will not cooperate.
We will fight legally. We will fight procedurally, and we will also fight legislatively.
My entire time in Congress, I've never seen Republicans be able to pass a budget. They can never get that together, and they always come crawling to Democrats for help. Well, we are not going to help.
We are not going to help. So not that is what you're saying.
No, absolutely not. And a lot of these people, and I know them well, I know them personally, they make these sound bites because they want to fundraise off of it. They will call their donors afterwards and say, oh, did you see me on cable TV? Or they will send the clip out to their email list. It's all about, inciting outrage amongst their donor base for the small dollar donations, as well as from the big donors as well. But you can see that the American people elected Trump because they want to cut out the waste. They don't want to be funding DEI programs around the country and also abroad. They want to make sure that every single dollar taxpayer-funded money is spent wisely. And as someone, I'm actually a huge fan of fiscal responsibility. I think we need someone with this level of zeal towards our federal budget, because for too long, politicians have been treating this money as OPM, which is other people's money.
Well, we've been talking about throughout the show today. I think the issue that the more kind of rational, moderate Democrats have with this is the how, and how they're going about it, and how much power Elon Musk has, and all of that. I think there are legitimate questions now that are being taken and answered in some cases by the courts about that. To your point, though, and we had a moderate Democrat on the show last hour, cutting waste, fraud, and abuse should be supported, right? I want to put up something from the Free Press, which would be a more conservative perspective on this, but it was said to be like a survival guide for Democrats. So they say avoid the name calling, moderate, starting with immigration, partner with Trump when he's right. They say DEI would be an example. Embrace energy abundance. That sounds more along the lines, Lindy, than of what you're saying.
I actually agree with especially point number 3, the immigration aspect. Democrats failed abysmally on this issue. You saw within days Trump was able to shore up the border and able to strongly encourage Mexico and Canada to step up to the plate and really do what they can to stymie the flow of migrants flowing across the border. Why is it so anathema to the American people to say that we need strong borders, that porous borders is a bad idea? And I'm speaking as a naturalized immigrant myself. My family and I didn't storm the southern border. We didn't, come here illegally. We waited the right way. We waited for years, in fact, and we waited to apply. And this is the way it should be. But unfortunately, there's a huge segment of the population in the Democratic Party that believes that we should basically let in everyone who applies for asylum, or anyone who even has, a figment of the claim. And that is not the way to shore up our national sovereignty, which is important. Why is it so bad to want strong borders, to actually have a methodical process instead of millions of people?
Okay. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.